Hello and welcome everyone to our comprehensive coverage of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. We are diving deep into Match 10, a contest that might have flown under the radar for casual fans but was absolute box office for cricket purists. We were at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi for the Netherlands versus Namibia. This wasn't just a game, it was a battle for survival in Group A, the so-called Group of Death. With India and Pakistan looming large in this group, both the Dutch and the Namibian sides knew that a loss here virtually ended their Super 8 aspirations. The atmosphere in Delhi was hazy, but buzzing with anticipation for this 11 a.m. start. The pitch report suggested a classic Delhi surface, hard, dry, perhaps a little low in bounce, but generally good for batting if you applied yourself. The news from the centre was that Scott Edwards, the Dutch skipper, won the toss and didn't hesitate to bowl first. It was a calculated decision. In day games in Delhi, the moisture in the first hour can be tricky, and Edwards wanted his seamers to exploit that. Gerhard Erasmus, the Namibian captain, admitted he would have batted anyway, looking to put scoreboard pressure on the Dutch in a high-stakes game. As the players walked out, you could feel the tension. Namibia's openers Malan and Davin had a job to do against the new ball pairing of Kingma and Logan van Beek. The first few overs were a genuine test of technique. The ball was nipping around, and the Dutch bowlers were relentless with their lines, barely giving an inch. The breakthrough came early in the fourth over when a beautiful in-swinger trapped Davin right in front of the stumps. It was the start Netherlands wanted, and it set the tone for the power play. Namibia finished the first 6 overs at a cautious 38 for 2, having lost both openers, and they were already on the back foot. The middle phase of the first innings was a fascinating tactical battle. We often talk about power hitting in T20s, but this phase was about grit. Gerhard Erasmus and Jan Freiling had to rebuild the innings almost from scratch. They couldn't afford to lose another wicket, so they shelved the big shots and focused on running hard between the wickets. The Dutch spinners, Arjen Dutt and Tim Pringle, were operating in tandem, and they were suffocating. There was a period between the 10th and 14th overs where the boundaries completely dried up. You could see the frustration building on the Namibian batters' faces as they tried to pierce the gaps, but kept finding the fielders. The Netherlands' fielding was electric, cutting off angles and keeping the pressure high. However, to Namibia's credit, they didn't collapse. They kept wickets in hand for the death overs, a strategy that nearly paid off. As we entered the final 5 overs, the gears finally shifted. Smit walked in and added that much-needed impetus. He targeted the shorter boundaries, launching 2 massive sixes over deep mid-wicket in the 18th over that finally gave the Namibian fans something to cheer about. Those hits shifted the momentum slightly, dragging the score past 140 and eventually to a respectable 156 for 8 after 20 overs. While 156 isn't a monstrous total in modern cricket, on a gripping Delhi surface in a World Cup pressure game, it was competitive. The Dutch walked off knowing they had done well, but also knowing that 1 or 2 early wickets in the chase could cause panic. The run chase began with a mix of caution and aggression. Max O'Dowd and Vikramjit Singh started for the Netherlands, but the Namibian pacer Trumpelman had other ideas. He produced a Jaffa in the second over to remove Vikramjit, sending the stumps cartwheeling. Suddenly, at 10 for 1, the 157-run target looked a lot further away. The Namibian fielders were chirping, the energy was high, and for a moment, it looked like we might have a thriller on our hands. But then, Bas de Leede walked to the crease. If there is one player who defines this current Dutch generation, it is him. He absorbed the early pressure, leaving the good balls and respecting the conditions. He didn't panic when the run rate crept up towards 8 runs an over. The turning point of the match came around the 10th over mark. The Netherlands was stable but needed a move on. De Leede decided to target the spin of Bernard Scholz. He stepped out, turning a good length ball into a half volley and depositing it into the stands. That shot broke the shackles. From that moment on, he was in total control. He found a perfect ally in his captain, Scott Edwards. The two of them put on a masterclass in middle overs batting. They manipulated the field, sweeping the spinners and driving the pacers through the covers. The partnership grew, and the Namibian shoulders started to drop. You could see Erasmus rotating his bowlers, trying to find a breakthrough, but De Leede was immovable. De Leede reached his 50 off just 35 balls, raising his bat to the dugout. It was an innings of pure class, composed, elegant, and ruthless when it needed to be. By the time the 16th over came around, the result was a foregone conclusion. The Netherlands needed a runner ball, and with wickets in hand, they cruised. The winning runs were hit with 2 overs to spare, a comprehensive 7-wicket victory that sounded easier on paper than the early exchanges suggested. Bas de Leede was rightfully named player of the match for his unbeaten 72 and his bowling contributions. For the Netherlands, this win is gold dust. It keeps them alive, it boosts their net run rate significantly, and it sends a message that they are not just here to make up the numbers. For Namibia, it's a tough lesson in converting starts and maintaining intensity for the full 40 overs, a great game of cricket in Delhi, and a vital 2 points for the Dutch.